guys, welcome to the Friday Waffle. I hope you're all good. I'm absolutely smashing. Yeah, I'm recording this last night, which is Thursday night, because I'm out tonight. So yeah, I hope you've all had a decent week. What have I been doing? Apart from working, not a great deal. I'm trying to think, have I been doing anything? Have I played any games at all? I'll tell you what I have been doing. I've been playing quite a bit of Moose Life, which is the new game by Jeff Minter. Came out on the PC, I think last week. I think it was. It's £5.50, something like that. Now, you know what? It's whilst everything in the world seems to be more expensive, I think this is the best time to be a video gamer. Excuse me, I've just got the hiccups. I think this is the best time to be a video gamer. Games, quite literally, have never been so cheap. I mean, even a game that's 50 quid, you know, you go back to 1990 when the Commodore Amiga was out, you were paying £25-30 for a game, and that would be, what, 30 years ago. So a game, even a full price game now, is way cheaper than what it cost back in the 80s. And when you think of just how much more you're getting, how much more gameplay you're getting for your money, yeah, games might be completed quicker, because modern games now, you know, it's all about getting from next level, getting to the next level, getting to the next level, and then you complete it. Back in the sort of early 80s, you know, the very, very early games of video games, you didn't really complete games. They basically had no ending. It was just about getting to the next level and about getting a score. But now we've got to a stage where, you know, it's all about getting to the next level and then eventually completing it, you know, and you'll get some kind of cutscene. And it always makes me wonder when I'm playing modern games, you're rushing about and you're passing by all these absolutely astonishing graphics. You know, and sometimes I like to play a game and I'll just take my time and I'll actually go about and just look in levels and go into cupboards and just basically take in the scenery, because it must be quite frustrating for a games developer to spend, you know, hundreds and thousands of hours getting these game environments to look the way they do, and then, you know, people are just, I mean, think about like a game like Call of Duty, whatever. You're just, I mean, I know that I play Call of Duty, but you're effectively just trying to get to the end as quickly as possible, and you're bypassing so much of the goodness that's actually going into that game. You know, and it seems a bit of a waste. But yeah, getting kind of back on topic, Moose Life is superb. It's Juno 1st. It's Juno 1st in a sort of a, you know, a 3D environment. Obviously, if you've not got the VR, then it's two-dimensional. Playing it in virtual reality is astonishing. You know, it really, really is. People do ask me a lot about VR and, you know, what do you think of it? I'll be honest, when it comes to PSVR, I could not tell you the last time I actually put the thing on. It kind of shows me just how lazy we've become, or not so much we've become, but how lazy I've become. I've got my PSVR, it's already connected up. You know, I don't have to plug it in. All I have to do is take it out of the unit and put it on. But even that seems to be too much of a hassle for me. I mean, to be fair, I very rarely play my PS4. I've not played it for quite a while. I did buy Last of Us 2, played it for 20 minutes, not gone back to it, and that's purely and simply because I told my daughter wanted to play it with me, so we thought, right, we'll play it together, and we've literally played it once. But yeah, PSVR, I mean, I bought a couple of full price games. What did I buy? I can't even, is it Astrobot? I bought that about maybe 6 months ago. There's one which I can't even remember what it's called. It's a kind of, running about shooting stuff. It was about 20 odd quid. Never went back to it. I don't think I've even played the PSVR since then. So I was kind of thinking, should I sell it? But then I thought to myself, you know what? You probably wouldn't get very, very much for it. And chances are there's going to be some killer game that's going to come out for the PlayStation 5, and then I'm going to have to go and buy it again, because I don't think the PS5 is going to have like VR built in. I think you're still going to have to use the original PSVR. So I'm going to keep it. Like I said, I'm not going to get very much if I was to sell it. So I'm going to hang on to it, but I've just simply not been playing it. But I have been playing the Oculus Quest. It is astonishing, it really, really is. And what makes it wonderful is the fact that it's completely cordless. The graphics look amazing. They really, really do. The sense of being involved, the sense of being inside a game, it's just amazing. But it gets 10 times better if you've got a PC that's capable of running VR stuff, because when you plug it in, you've got to get yourself a cable. I got one off Amazon for 15 quid. I can now use the PSVR. I can now use the Oculus Quest as an Oculus Rift, and I can play all the games that the Vive and the Oculus Quest guys or Oculus Rift guys can play. Saying that, I did buy Half-Life Alyx, and I've not gone back to it. I am terrible, really bad for buying stuff, but yeah, like I said, I've been playing a fair bit of Moose Life, and just if you've never ever tried VR, then go and try it. I wouldn't say to you go and buy an Oculus Quest to try it, but if you've never tried VR, go and get yourself one of these cheapo VR headsets. You put your phone into it. It is a lovely, lovely thing. Is it ever going to take over from normal gameplay? Is it going to take over from sitting on the couch with your 360 controller? I don't think it is. Until PSVR gets to a point, and I keep calling it PSVR, until VR gets to a point where there's no cables, and it's more user friendly, then I don't think it will ever become mainstream. But the Oculus Quest does go somewhat to kind of doing that. It's truly, truly wireless. So you basically plonk it on your head, switch it on, and away you go. But go and try it out. There was something I was going to talk about, and I completely escaped me. Don't know why I'm thinking about this. I've been going through some of my stuff now. I do have a feature called What's in the Box, and it's basically where I take out one of my storage boxes out my cupboard that's just fully tat and gaming related stuff, and I go through it. And I've been in this house now for 2 years, and I've still got all these boxes in this cupboard. And to be fair, it's all taken up stuff. I've got about 12 boxes, maybe more than that, crates. They're big plastic crates. I've got about 12 of them taking up space. I've got, and I shit you not, I have got about 5 feet from the floor of magazines times 2. So imagine 2 piles of magazines sitting about 5 feet. Maybe not 5 feet, maybe 4 feet, 4.5 feet. But all this stuff is taking up space. It's taking up this cupboard. When I say a cupboard, it could technically be, it's a box room. You could probably fit a single bed in it. And I've kind of come to realise, I've been in the house 2 years, and this stuff is just taking up space. So my quest over the next 6 months is to try and get rid of all that stuff, because the stuff that I want to play, I've got on display. I've either got it in this games room or I've got it on a shelf. So I'm not going to get rid of anything that I'm going to use, but I've just got lots of things. I've got a SNES, I think I've got a couple of Mega Drives, I've got disc drives, I've got What else have I got? I think I've got an Electron, which I never ever use. I think I've got 2 Electrons. I've got some broken computers as well. So I really, really need to make a sort of a sterling effort to start getting rid of this stuff, because now is the time to sell stuff, because people seem to be wanting this stuff more than ever. So that's kind of that's what I need to do. I want to do that. Before I forget, I keep saying this every single week. Apologies about lack of gaming content, lack of videos. Apart from my Friday Waffle and live stream, I'm really putting out very, very few videos. I think for me, I'm not making excuses. I think for me, it's, as much as I'm really enjoying the job, it is leaving me quite tired. And it's one of these things where you just think, I can't be bothered. Oh, excuse me. The problem is, and I've said this before, the older you get, the faster time goes. Now, I know it doesn't go faster, because a minute is a minute. When I was 16, a minute is the same as what a minute is now. But when you get older, it feels like time passes quicker. And it's not just when you're at work, it's when you're in your bed sleep. Well, maybe not, that's a bad example. It's not when in your bed sleeping. It passes quick when I get home at night, get home for 5:30, it feels like it's 10 o'clock before I know it, and I'm going to my bed and I'm back up for work. Same with the weekend seems to fly in, the weeks seem to fly in, the months seem to fly in. I mean, I can't believe that we're now, where are we? We're now on the 20th of August, and there are people that I've not seen, like, sort of, when I say real life mates, I mean people who I see in real life rather than just on YouTube. There's people I've not seen, there's actually people that I've not seen since Christmas, and that is insane. I mean, this year, I think for everybody, it really feels like a lost year. 2020 will forever go down in history as the year that was just, it was blank. From a personal point of view, with the COVID, I'm starting to get pretty fed up with things. I mean, at my work, I've got to wear a mask all the time. I do have my own office. When I'm in my own office, I don't need to, I can take the mask off. If somebody comes into the office, I've got to put a mask on. When I'm walking about, and I do a lot of walking about, I've got to have the mask on constantly. And I think, like everybody, we're just starting to get fed up of it. There's even talk of another lockdown. I don't know. I think we're all just, I really feel for people. I mean, for me personally, it's not really affected me in my sort of day-to-day life. I've still been working. I've not had any furlough time off. I was working from home for a long, long time. The job I'm in now, I can't work from home, so I'm going to my work. So, from a personal point of view, it's not really affected me. But where it has affected me is I'm not getting to do things. I mean, this year alone, apart from not getting to see friends, etc., we can't, there's been no retro events. You can't go to, I went for a meal with my daughter last night. That's the first meal I've had in pretty much since lockdown, I think, kicked in. But, there's people that have just, they've not been able to leave the house, and I'm genuinely concerned for people, older people. I work in a place where there's a lot of old people, and some of these people probably haven't left their house for months and months and months. They're not getting to talk to people, and I think that the longer this goes on, the worse it's going to affect people, not just physically, but it's going to affect them mentally as well. But from a physical point of view, there's people who probably went out for walks, and now because of this, they're too terrified to leave their house. So yeah, it's not a good place. I mean, I'm quite glad up in Scotland, we've certainly not been as relaxed as down in England. We've still been wearing masks, though it does annoy me. You go to shops and it will say masks have to be worn, and yet there's still a lot of people walking about without them. I don't think you can enforce it. And so you go into a shop and I was in a little kind of corner shop the other day there, and I was the only person. There was maybe about 6 or 7 people in the shop, and I was the only person that had a mask on. But yeah, so I don't know. we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, I don't know what the I don't know. I don't watch the news very often. That's maybe a very very naive thing to do, but I don't know. I never really put the news on very often, so I'm not really up to speed with where we are regards to getting a some kind of jag. Have we got a cure for it? Obviously, we haven't got a cure for it yet, but the sooner that happens for the world, the better. But aye. Anyway, listen, I've kind of prattled on long enough. I'm just going to crack on with some questions. So, kicking things off, we've got Yoldy Gamer Steve, another good waffle there. Since I can't think of a decent question this time, I'll ask this: Jaffa cakes or wagon wheels? 100%. I was going to say Jaffa cakes, 100% wagon wheels, Steve. Although, as we all know, wagon wheels have definitely gotten smaller, without a shadow of doubt. I'm not a big Jaffa Cakes fan. I mean, I will eat them if that was all that was there, but I'm not really... I don't know what it is. I'm not a fan of the jelly bit, and I don't really like the... what do you call it? It's like the foam kind of underbelly of it. Underbelly, is that what you call the bottom of a biscuit? I'm not really a fan of it. I mean, I will eat them, but nah, definitely wagon wheels. I'd probably choose rich tea or digestive biscuits. Talking of which, does anybody actually eat rich tea? I don't know. I mean, I try not buy biscuits because for the simple reason, if I buy them, I've got to eat them, and I am trying to kind of eat more healthily. I'm terrible. If I have sweets in the house, I'll just scoff them really, really quickly. Especially jelly sweets. I mean, I love Haribo and I love all these little sort of fizzy sweeties, super sour things, stuff like that. But rich tea. I remember as a kid, rich tea was I wouldn't say the biscuit of choice. It was the only biscuit that we got. My mum and dad, they just never bought chocolate biscuits. Never ever bought them. But I mean, I had an absolute epic childhood, really happy childhood, and it's the same with fizzy juice. My mum and dad just never ever bought it. I'm quite glad that they didn't buy it, whereas nowadays it's just a thing. The same with crisps. I can remember crisps were an absolute they were a real treat. I don't recall my mum and dad buying crisps. The only time I can remember it, my dad knew a guy that worked in a crisp factory, and he got my dad a box of crisps. I don't know how he was getting them cheap, and I can still remember the excitement that we had a box of crisps in the house. When you consider my mum and dad never bought crisps, and here was a box of 24 packets. It was just insane. But nowadays, I mean, downstairs I've got loads of crisps, biscuits, sweets. Kids do not view sweets or crisps as a treat. They view it as the norm. You know what I mean? But back in the day, we just didn't get stuff. It's just like I said, fizzy juice. The only time I ever got fizzy juice was I would go to my granny's house and she would buy what was it called? Alpine. It was a guy in a van used to come round, and Alpine. It was quite kind of cheapo juice. It didn't taste very nice, but when you never got any of that kind of stuff at all at home, it was always a big treat. You'd get American cream soda, Iron Brew, limeade, cola, and like I said, it didn't really taste like the proper juice, but you know what, that was all we got, and I was grateful to get it. But yeah, to get back to your question, Steve, 1,000,000% wagon wheels. Sir Lans, hey, Pengo's okay. Try Leprechaun if you want a WTF am I playing game. Yeah, I don't know, was I mentioning Pengo? Yeah, we're talking about arcade games that I don't like, and yeah, I just couldn't understand it. I can't understand the game mechanics of Pengo. Not at all. ZX Renew, brilliant to hear you're enjoying the new job. What is it you do for a living? I am a facility manager, which basically means if something is broke, it's up to me to get it fixed. I don't physically fix it myself. Well, if I could, I suppose I would do it. But I've got a couple of guys that kind of work for me. So that's my job. I basically have to get things fixed. Yeah, but really enjoying the job. Like I say, it's mega busy, but it's all good. Panther UK cracking waffle that started with the end. You know what? I saw a couple of comments, and I couldn't understand. Somebody was it Colin Jones, I think, said, was this like one of the shortest waffles ever? And I didn't understand what he was talking about until I realised, until I watched it back, and basically what I did was I got the outro and the intro muddled up, which basically meant my video started with the finish, then they had the waffle, then you had the intro to finish with. Now that just goes to show that I do not watch my videos. I used to watch them. I mean, probably about 2-3 years ago, I would every video that I made, I would sit and watch it right through. I don't do that at all now. Don't know why. Maybe I should, because it's not the first time that somebody has said to me, by the way, you know, jump to a certain point and you'll see, you know, you've missed out a bit. There's been times in the past where I've started talking, and anybody that makes YouTube content will be able to relate to this. There's been times where I've started talking, I'll do the usual welcome to the Friday Waffle, and I'll start talking, and then I'll just get tongue-tied, or else I'll just think, oh no, that was shit. And then I start again, but I forget to edit it out. So yeah, apologies, but only me, only me would have the outro as the intro, and vice versa. I'm a twat. Excuse me, let's have a wee look. Yeah, no prizes for guessing. My dual SID C64 would be my precious. Yeah, Panther UK was asking what would be the one machine that, you know, you wouldn't want to lose. I think I said mine would be the Vectrex. But dual SID C64, I totally understand that. Great news in the next, but you know what I'm waiting for. Also good news in the job front. For next time then, you've said on more than one occasion that 8-bit games haven't aged that well. Is it just the graphics you refer to, and is that really important, as particularly with the C64 the sound can be epic, and surely gameplay from then is still great now? Be interested to hear your thoughts on this, mate. You know what, Chris, the funny thing is, I don't think it's ever been the graphics. And what I find interesting, I have mentioned this before, games that back in the day I thought were rubbish, I've revisited them and I don't think they're as bad as I remember. Now that seems crazy, because you know we're now playing games that just look super realistic. But I think the reason is all 8-bit games, from a graphical point of view, all 8-bit games do generally look pretty rubbish. So the good looking games, you know, to compare them to like Last of Us, are going to look shit. So then the early games, or some of the games that I thought looked rubbish back then, or played rubbish back then, when I look at them now, they don't actually seem that bad. So I mean, things like Outrun, I think I played Outrun on the live stream on Sunday. I don't think it's that bad. But back in the day, I played them and I thought, that's terrible. But no, the games that, for me, the games that I say haven't aged that well, I think it's been more down to, it's never been the graphics that has let it down. For me, it's just the gameplay. It's the gameplay. Now, a game that I've mentioned a few times is Bruce Lee. Now, you know, Bruce Lee gets a lot of love. That sounds wrong. Bruce Lee, the video game, gets a lot of love. And, you know, it was one of the first games that I ever saw on a computer. I saw it running on an Atari 800. And it just blew my mind. Here was a game based on one of my heroes. And then I got the game for the C64. I got it on disc. And I loved it. You know, I played it all the time and I thought it was fantastic. But looking at it now and playing it now, I just find it quite a dull game. So it was amazing back then, but looking at it now, but possibly, the graphics never were amazing. So that still kind of stands. But no, like I says, it's more about the gameplay. I just think Bruce Lee is actually quite a dull game. Controversial, I know. There's been a few other games. I can't think of any other games offhand. But the games that I really, really enjoyed, things like, and I keep saying it over and over again, Super Pipeline 2 is just an absolute stonewall classic. I love playing that game so much. It's a brilliant game. Drop Zone is epic. Fort Apocalypse is epic. So I've still got lots of games that I will play. But the majority of 8-bit games, I don't know. I just think that maybe we've been spoiled with kind of modern games, but there's a lot of games that I play that I'll play again, after 30 years, 35 years, and I'll just think I wouldn't want to go back to that. It's quite a dull game. So yeah, for me, Chris, it's never been the graphics that I've kind of said it's not aged particularly well. It's always been the gameplay. I just think it's very, very. You wouldn't want to play it for any more than 5 minutes. But saying that, there are still tons of games that I will play. Interestingly, the games that I would say haven't aged well, and it's down to graphics, are PlayStation, the original PlayStation. Unless, it was like a 2-dimensional game, that's fine. But you play any 3D game on the PlayStation, something like is it Jumpin' Jack, Tomb Raider, any of these sort of third person, first person shooters, I don't think they've aged particularly well at all, and it's because these were like the very, very first generation of the kind of super consoles. We'd gone from like 2-dimensional games, and suddenly we're playing stuff like Ridge Racer, which I actually think Ridge Racer on the PlayStation is still a fantastic game, but I don't think I would, I don't think I would, or I would really go back and play many PlayStation games. I've got tons of games for PlayStation. I don't even have the PlayStation plugged in. I don't even have any cables for it. I've got cables for it, but I don't think I've even loaded a single game in the PlayStation. That and the N64, I just think, I don't know, they've just not aged particularly well. Saying that though, the Sega Saturn, which kind of came out about the same time, I think the Sega Saturn is awesome. The games that it really does well are fighting games, which I'm not a big fan of, but shoot 'em ups. So it's no surprise that I've got the Sega Saturn connected up, the PlayStation's in a cupboard, and I don't even own the N64. But yeah, getting back to your question, Chris, it's never been the gameplay. It's never been the graphics that I've thought it's not aged particularly well. I just think that some of the games, obviously they were written in like 40k whatever. You're never going to get the depth of a modern game, but some of the games that I did enjoy playing back in the day, I play them now, and they just feel, But anyway, listen, thanks very much for your question, buddy. Craig Flanagan, thanks Alan for the kind words. I really look forward to the Sunday to see the usual guys in our community, and it's nice to have great guys to just chat away with. Absolutely, Craig. Always enjoy the Sunday stream. Retro Russ, great to hear you like the new job. It's a huge thing in life to be able to be happy at work. The 40 minutes commute you will find becomes your time. I have the same commute but always listen to podcasts and your Friday Waffle. You know what? It's funny, I was talking to a guy at work the other day there, and he said exactly the same thing. He says that the 40 minutes that he does the same distance. He says that the 40 minutes in the morning gives him time to kind of waken up and kind of get his work mode, get his work head in. And then he says that conversely, when he's coming back from work, if he's had a kind of particularly stressful day, he's able to just use that 40 minutes to unwind, listen to the radio, whatever it is. So yeah, I don't mind the travelling at all. Yeah, the cost of it is a slight pain in the arse, but like I says, I'm driving really, really slow and getting pretty good miles to the gallon. Anyway, Retro Rust, question for next waffle. If you had space for one original arcade cabinet, which one would you have in your house? I've been asked this question quite a few times. I've got quite a few arcade cabinets I'd love to have. I'd love to have a Rolling Thunder cabinet. I would love to have a Robotron cabinet. I would love to have... I'd love to have a Berserk cabinet. Oh, you know what? It's a tough one. It would have to be between two. The first one would be Galaxian, and the reason the reason that would be one of my two I'd love is because there is no end to the game. I don't think it crashes. I'm not aware it's crashing. If it does crash, I'm never likely to get to that score. It's just a timeless game. It looks amazing. It sounds amazing. So it would either be that, or it would be Williams' classic Defender. Again, the difficulty of that game would mean that you would want to play. It would always be a challenge. Oh man, what would it be? Would it be Defender or would it be Galaxian? You know what, that is a tough one. If somebody gave me the choice of giving me a mint Defender or a mint Galaxian, oh man, I think I would probably have to go for Defender just because of the difficulty, and I think it's, you know, it is the quintessential video game. Yeah, I think if you could master Defender, then you can master any game. So it'd probably be Defender, but it would be a really hard choice. Yeah, excellent. Highlander, I had a Peugeot 207, loved it, did me proud, but I've just got a new Civic Type R, nice one, which is a completely different beast. Good waffle as always. Scott Breon, it was pretty humid here in my part of Canada all last week. Luckily I have a mini split in my house, so it wasn't so bad inside. Yeah, that's the problem, Scott. I was going to say in Scotland, in the UK, we don't normally get really hot weather. So other than probably mega expensive houses, air conditioning is not a thing that we have. And I know we complain about the weather all the time in the UK, but when we do get really hot weather, we just moan about it. We're really not designed for hot weather. The houses aren't designed for hot weather, and I don't think us as human beings are designed for hot weather. Saying that, I still would prefer hot weather over crap weather. Robert Morrison, dang, you're well on your way to Google funded retirement. I think Robert's referring to the £1,000 that we've got for the charities. I think I can probably, in fact this weekend, I'm going to look to be withdrawing the money into my account, and then probably next week, in fact depending, I think if banks are open on Saturday, I may actually try and do it on Saturday. See if we can get a cheque for... We're still waiting for the little community centre. I don't know. In fact, you know what? I do know it's open because I checked it on Facebook. I'm going to arrange to get 3 cheques printed off, and then hopefully in the next couple of weeks there will be pictures of me handing the cheque over to each charity. Colin Jones, waffling level pro. Though when it started I thought, bloody hell, that was short. Unexpected expenses suck. Yeah, I was talking about I got my £212 from YouTube, which has only taken me like 5 years, and then I also sold some stuff, and then I found out that I was basically £400 in the red for my energy, so I paid £300. So the £300 that I got instantly went out, and I gasped. Well, happy days. Great news in the job front. My last car did about 35 miles to the gallon. A diesel Nissan Serena 7-seater, blimey. Portal was the unexpected hit off the orange box. Portal 2 is also awesome, but they are puzzle reaction games. I did try Portal, but it just kind of messed with my head too much, and I gave up. Nice idea for a game, but a bit too complicated for me. The best version of Manic Miner, especially the music, is surprisingly on the Auric Atmos. Really? I'll need to try and dig that out and do a wee video of it. Probably the best game in that computer by a long shot. Old computers are great and a good part of nostalgia. Other things I look back on and wonder how we're still alive. The magic today is now we all have computers that can pretend to be old computers without even breathing heavy and still do much more. Yeah, you know what, Colin, I'm exactly the same. I mean, my favourite piece of software, without a shadow of doubt, is MAME. Just an awesome bit of software. And, you know, I'm delighted, or I'm glad that I look upon emulation as, you know, it's like witchcraft. It's just astonishing. And the fact that I can emulate all these machines. I mean, when I do my live streams, I'm not even playing the games on real hardware. I'm using my PC, and the fact that it does it, I just think it's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Waffle question: you've mentioned your favourite genre is shoot 'em ups, but what is your least favourite genre? I.e., is there any style of game you wouldn't play without extreme duress or as a challenge? There's quite a few games, Colin. I mean, flight simulators I wouldn't play. Games, sandbox games where you've got to craft stuff. I mean, things like Fallout 4. I mean, Grand Theft Auto 5. I did buy it on the PlayStation. I even bought it on the PC. I like that from the point of view that I can just drive about and just do stuff. But sandbox games where you've got missions, can't be bothered with. I cannot stand games that you've got to craft things. I know Lacosa thinks these games are the bees knees. I just can't be bothered with them. I mean, I stupidly bought No Man's Sky about, 3-4 months ago. I bought it because I got it for, was it 15 quid, and I thought I'll give it a go because I think they had just released the VR version on the PlayStation VR, and I thought, oh, I'll give it a go. And I played it for about 10 minutes and I've never went back to it. So games like that, big open space games, not interested in. Flight simulators I'm not interested in. Games like FIFA, not interested in at all. Yeah, pretty much that. Back in the day, adventure games, point and click games, not interested in at all. Text adventures, not interested. Yeah, that's pretty much it, Colin, I think. But anyway, great question as always. Excuse me, down the rabbit hole. Alan, considering I can only buy old games online these days, I am really noticing prices are shooting up, and I was wondering if it's the same over in the UK. To be honest with you, Kev, I've not really looked. I mean, I don't really buy old games. I mean, my Commodore Amiga, I've got a CF card. My C64, I've got an SD card. The Atari, I've got an SD card. The Spectrum, I've got an SD card. The Amstrad, I've got, I can load games through a tape thing, an app on the phone. I've got every game that I want to play on, all my consoles. The only system that I wouldn't mind some more games is the Vectrex, for obvious reasons. I think I've got, I don't know how many consoles, I don't know how many games I've got. I've got about 17, something like that. I think there was there 23 games. So there's still a number of games that I need to get for it. I can play them because I've got the cartridge. So yeah, some Vectrex games, and I wouldn't mind picking up some, some Jaguar games, but again, they all go for daft money, and you know what, I can play them, on an emulator. I can play them through my PC, and I am not going to be paying a lot of money for them. So now I think it's pretty much the same here, Kev. The retro scene has really, the fact that the Spectrum Next Kickstarter version 2 is now at 1.2 million. That just goes to show just how popular this kind of hobby is. But yeah, games and that are going for daft money, really is. Secondly, I've begun to notice I have a ton of peripherals like controllers and add-ons for my Vectrex, How about yourself? Not for Vectrex, Kev. I don't have any fancy controllers. Considering I love the Vectrex. I mean, I've now got 3. The one I bought recently doesn't work, and I'm hoping for one guy to actually. He's going to hopefully have a look at it for me. I don't actually play it that often, and it's for the daft reason as I don't want to break it. So it's one of these things. It's like your mum's best china. She brings it out for special occasions, and that's kind of what I'm like with my with the Vectrex. But I don't have any fancy controllers at all. I have seen them. I mean, is it Vectrex Rolly? I don't think he does YouTube anymore actually, but yeah, he's always posting stuff on Facebook, and there are some wicked extras. The only one thing I was wanting to get, and it was Pete on a retro tip. He did a video, and it was like this. It's lights that kind of go around the side of the Vectrex, and you put this kind of overlay, and it basically kind of puts a kind of really nice grid, sort of light grid effect over games, and it makes them look really, really nice. So I was going to look to buy that. I've just not physically got around to actually buying it. But yeah, I don't have any fancy controllers at all for the Vectrex. Finally, and this is a big one. Any thoughts on what happened between the makers of Fortnite and Apple? I'll summarise if you haven't heard. Just one little thing, Kev. I notice you do post a lot of questions about current events and games. Now, I really don't pay attention to the internet. I generally find out about things when you ask a question. I don't tend not to kind of look at news and games. If you haven't heard, Epic Games bypassed their terms of service on the iPhone version of Fortnite, and Apple took Fortnite down. Epic is going to sue, so Apple are blocking any games using the Unreal Engine, which is a ton of games, even stuff made by indie developers. So has Apple become the tyrant overlord they originally declared they would rebel against back in the 80s? Really, so let me get this right. Apple are going to block any game that uses the Unreal Engine. Why? That seems crazy. And so does that mean if you've got an Apple Mac or an iPad, whatever, and you've bought a game, please tell me that if you've bought the game, it will still run. You know, if they're stopping you using games you've bought on your Apple Mac, whatever, that is bad. Yeah, the problem is companies like Apple and there's a few other companies, they just become so big for their boots. I mean, say what you want about Apple, yeah, the products are genuinely very, very good, but dearie me, they know how to charge. They know how to charge for stuff, and that's why my phone is about 4 years old. I'm not interested in getting a brand new phone. And would I buy another Apple phone? Probably not. Doubt it. But yeah, if that's the case, Kev, that's crazy. I don't know why they would do that. It sounds to me like they've just taken, it's like sour grapes. It's like, because you're going to try and sue me, we're just going to ban all games. I mean, that's, it would be like a company bringing out a football game, and then they go to sue you, so you say, I'm going to ban all football games. That is crazy. Absolutely mental. Anyway, Kev, listen, thank you very, very much for your questions. Got to say, Kev, it's really nice that you're getting to drop into what do you call it, some of the live streams on a Sunday. It's always nice to see you. Delboy3K1, top tip for Friday: put on black lipstick and close your mouth, and it looks like you have a mask. Anyway, fuel for me is approximately 66 miles per gallon on a good day. That's 55 to 60 miles an hour in gear 6 as much as possible for my Audi A3. See, I had an Audi A3 as well. And then again, I never used to do 60 miles an hour. I would probably do 70 miles an hour, whatever. But I always thought that absolute drunk petrol, stupid. It was a ridiculously expensive car to run. Anyway, I'm still watching the Waffle, so more later, Excelsior. Delboy3K1 again. Hi, Alan. Back in the day when your beard was shorter, did you try to get past security in games via copying, such as photocopying those weird colour charts in Jet Set Willy, or writing out words from a book? Cracking watch, and thank you for entertaining us. Well, thank you very much, Dale. Appreciate it. Yeah, I did. I never went to the extent of like photocopying colour charts, but what I used to do, I remember. Oh, what was it? Was it Legends of Valor? It came with a big, massive manual, and I remember going into my work and using the photocopier, copying that. So yeah, I used to do that, photocopy manuals and that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think we all did that. The funny thing is, you would get it and then you'd probably end up never even playing it, But yeah, I did do my fair share of copying manuals and that kind of stuff. Milfy Swinbuckle, hello again. Mainmeister, question for the next waffle. Which 8-bit computer games do you rate a perfect 10 out of 10? As everyone with half a brain knows, there is a shit ton of greatness to choose from when dealing with the 8-bit era. But which would you say are the absolute best and unrivaled by anything else? As a C64 user, mine are all from this one machine, and although I love 100 or so games, I can think of only 3 as being perfection. These being Elite, Impossible Mission, and International Karate Plus. Absolute perfect. I'm going to say it. Super Pipeline 2. There's nothing I would change about it. You could see all the graphics are a bit blocky. The music is fantastic. Yeah, Super Pipeline 2 would be one of them. I would give that a 10 out of 10. Whizball, I think, incredible game. It's just so unique. Graphics are brilliant. The sound is amazing. It's original. What else can you say about it? Anything else? Like I said, I'm not a big fan of Impossible Mission. I know where you're coming from with an international karate. I mean, I love, my heart always goes with Way of the Exploding Fist. But international karate, from a technical point of view, is pretty much perfect. I mean, it's incredible when you see Archer McLean's managed to get 3 players all playing at the same time, or 2 computer eyes and one human being. It looks amazing. It sounds amazing. It plays fantastic. I suppose it doesn't all have to be C64. From Atari, I would say Drop Zone. The Atari version of Drop Zone is a stunning game, amazing game. I would probably say, I know that's 3 I've picked, I'd probably say Fort Apocalypse on the Atari as well is a 10 out of 10 for me. Yeah, definitely. There's loads of other amazing games, but that would be my 4. Super Pipeline 2, Drop Zone on Atari, Whizball on the C64, and Fort Apocalypse on the Atari 8-bit. Other notable games I'd probably rate would be the new Galencia. Yeah, Galencia is an awesome game. I mean, it's obviously a more recent game, but it's absolutely fantastic. And I think Jason's in the process of writing a sequel to it, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. Excuse me. Yeah, what I remember though was that the game was ridiculously amazing. It's an absolute stonking game. Definitely worth checking out. Ox, is someone taking the comments a bit too serious? Why did my last one get deleted? Yeah, I mentioned that, Neil. I saw your comment. I can honestly say, mate, I did not delete any comments. I don't think anyone else can delete comments. No, not that I'm aware of. I know Panther is he's a moderator when I do live streams, so he may be able to edit comments, but I can honestly say, Neil, I did not edit or take out any comment. It's a bizarre one. Really, really weird. I don't know why that would happen. I don't think YouTube themselves take out comments. Really no idea, buddy. And yeah, listen, that is it. So I'm just going to narrow it down and see where we are. We're up to 50 minutes. So anyway, listen guys, I've really got nothing else to say. I'm going to jump into the bath, get to my bed. I've got an early start in the morning, so I'm going to have an early night. This Sunday, the live stream is going to be Team 17. I think I mentioned that last weekend. Yep, Team 17 special. So I think it's all going to be Commodore Amiga. I don't think, did Team 17 do anything in the C64? Don't think they did. But looking forward to that. Usual time, 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock, and it'll obviously finish off with China Minor. I will try and get out more videos next week. Yeah. Listen, have an absolute epic weekend. Enjoy the video, and as always, thank you very, very much for watching.